maybe. Hey, welcome to Book World, The Great Escape. I'm author CJ Peterson. Right next to me is my co-host, author Michael Scott Clifton. Welcome to our June 10th. This is pre-recorded. We are not ignoring you, but this is also not only my birthday month, but this is my birthday week. So I'm super excited. Welcome to my birthday month celebration and my birthday week extra special celebration this week. Last week we had Kimo Kawaii. So I had lots of fun celebrating that particular Comic-Con. Next month, mark your calendars for June 18th or July 18th and 19th for over in Longview for East Texas Comic-Con. And also mark your calendars at the end of August. We will be having on the 29th and 30th Piney Woods Comic-Con. Mike, what do you have coming up?
So we have the Mississippi Comic-Con coming up. Let's see, that's in June. And gosh, I can't even get this up. It's going to be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, June 26th, 27th, and 28th. And then we have the Longview Art Walk, which they have quarterly, and that's going to be the historic downtown Longview area. That will be on Thursday, June the 4th, and several other Comic-Cons, including the Piney Woods Comic-Con and the East Texas Comic-Con, which you mentioned earlier in July and August. So, and then we're going to be going to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, visit my brother and sister-in-law, and have a great time. We're going to go to the beach, and we're getting to take our 5-year-old grandson. And he's never been to the beach. He might have been to Galveston, but he's never really been in a beach situation before. So I bet he's going to have a great time. We're looking forward to it.
Awesome. Lots of things going on. Well, today we're going to be talking about how do you identify scammers and spammers in the author world. Now, this is something that whenever I do talks, like the go to woe of publishing in the author world, this is something I actually do include on the last day. And this is something that a lot of authors don't even actually think about regarding scammers. And I do it because a lot of times people actually don't even think about it. There was one, people like, well, why don't you just ignore them all? I did psychology in college, and a lot of times I tend to like to play with them like sometimes a cat plays with a mouse. And I've got a couple of them as examples, and one I love to share in my class in particular. One of them has to do with the Team Angel series that I have. So I'm going to start with that one. I'm going to read you the back of the book. This is the third in the series. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bring it up so everybody can see it first of all, because you kind of got to see the book to understand it. If you guys can see it, it's this third one over here. It's Angels Among Us, and you can see the cover. It's this third one over here that has like the wings and the demon eyes and the firefighter over here. It's book 3. And the summary says, this is the third and final book. Now pay attention to these words in the Holy Flame trilogy, which follows the life-changing events that surround Casey Carter, a firefighter paramedic from Engine Company 15 in Denver, Colorado, an elite special operations unit called Angel, available to nurture God's eternal love. With help from a unique band of characters in the Outback, Casey Carter was able to work through her past. However, it would prepare her for what was to come. The battle is forming. Both sides are amassing their troops as allies align, but will there be enough remaining angels for them to win? Without knowing the day nor the hour, will they be prepared? What kind of battle would this be if the angels of flesh and blood were battling against unseen powers of darkness? This may be the deciding factor in case you struggle for freedom, but will the remaining angels survive, or will it be their final battle? Revelations 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Now, keep that in mind as I read this note that I got in LinkedIn. And I love this. I laugh at this every single time that I read it. And people get a kick out of it in my class. They think it's hysterical. It says, "Hi, CJ. It's great connecting with you." Okay, now I got to read this, and you got to enjoy the irony in it. "It's great connecting with you. Have you been? Hope you're doing well. I've been a fan of your writing recently and discovered your book on the author community. I was impressed. I noticed a few areas you could enhance your reader engagement and sales. Would you be interested in a brief, no obligation call to explore some ideas? I'm excited about the potential to further amplify your success." Now, of course, you know me. As I said, I like to play with them a little bit. I said, "Great, which book?" He said, "Thank you for asking. I'm doing well, and I'm thrilled to have discovered your book, Angels Among Us." Remember, we just read the whole scenario. "Angels Among Us. Your message resonated deeply with me." Okay, I'm a little disturbed by that, but okay. "And I appreciate your authenticity and vulnerability you share with your readers. I'm excited about the possibility of exploring ways to further connect with your audience and amplify your impact. Would you be open to a brief chat or call to discuss ideas?" Okay, I was curious to know what exactly he meant by that. So I said, "What did you like about that book? This is the third in a series. It's kind of interesting that you picked that one." This is his response. Now remember the whole synopsis I read to you. "Thank you for your kind words. I'm glad you're interested in knowing what resonated with me about Angels Among Us. I was particularly moved by the way you wove together personal anecdotes." There were no personal anecdotes in there, I promise you. Resonated. Okay. Personal anecdotes, spiritual insights. Okay, that's regarding spiritual battles. So I promise you there were no spiritual insights in there. "And practical wisdom to create a narrative that felt both deeply personal and universally relatable." I'm starting to worry about this guy. I'm telling you right now. "I appreciated how you shared your own struggles and doubts." I don't feel he read the book. "Making the book feel like a compassionate conversation with a dear friend." I don't know about his dear friends, but I promise you, my friends do not have conversations about spiritual warfare that are happening in a battlefield, literally on this plane of existence. So I promise you, that did not happen. I'm going to keep reading his thing though. "Your vulnerability and authenticity created a sense of trust, allowing me to reflect on my own journey." Okay, if this is his journey, we got a problem. "And connect with the messages on a deeper level. I didn't realize it was part of a series, but now I'm intrigued." Okay, now I'm intrigued. I really want to know. I want to know what the boy's doing, the fact that that's his personal journey. He says, "I love to explore the entire series and understand the progression of your thoughts and experiences." I love to explore his thoughts and experiences, if this is his thoughts and experiences, to be honest. The author in me is really curious now. "Perhaps you could discuss this further during our call. I can share some ideas on how to connect with your audience and expand." Okay, I had to let him go. I said, "Well, I appreciate your insight," and I put in quotes. "I'm concerned regarding your review. You may want to read it again. As the author, I'm surprised that is what you got from the book, because it's not a personal journey book." I said, "Honestly, though, I decided to let him go on this one. It was a valiant effort. It was a valiant effort at a guess regarding the title. However, you're not even close regarding the content. It is a fiction book about spiritual warfare. The last book, pretty much everything hits the fan. This is how I have an extremely strong doubts that you actually read the book. I do give you credit in guessing. It would generally work for most Christian fiction authors, but I'm not your standard Christian fiction author. I do applaud the effort, though. He did try to come back. He actually did read it and did come back and did apologize and then did try again to pitch me. So I do give him for that. So sometimes I do call him out. It does happen quite a lot.
If you do any kind of book promotion, particularly if you do Facebook ads or if you do Amazon ads, you're going to get an avalanche of spammers and scammers.
Mhm.
They're going to most authors I talk to that have been doing this for a while, they'll get 20 to 30 spam emails a day.
Oh yeah.
And it's just it's like if you're a mailman and in the old fashioned way where you're delivering mail about the rain, snow or sleet or night, whatever, the weather, you just got to slog through it. It's just part of being an author. You have to slog through all of the spam and scam attempts. So I wanted to read just a few of the hilarious emails I got, kind of like with you, but I'll do a brief. I'll be briefer because there's kind of variety. Here's one I got that says, "Hi, I work with Book Browse and Film Freeway, connecting authors' books with film producers who are actively looking for stories to adapt for the screen. They always end with something like this: would you like me to send over a brief overview of the process?" And they're always wanting for you to try to connect with them or to click a link, which of course is the worst thing you could possibly do.
Yeah, I never click the link.
Sometimes they'll even get your name wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on some of these. I'm MS Clifton, which is actually part of my email address, and and I got a message from Precious CJ. That's her name, Precious. And she's saying, she said, "I came across your book recently." I find that's a common theme for a lot of these scammers. "I recently came across your book." And then if you go to the very end of the email, they will say things like, "Have you explored interviews-based visibility as part of your long-term strategy before? Would you like to contact? I would love to chat with you." And so they're always asking you at the end of the email. First comes the flattery. They're always flattering you,
Mm-hmm.
and as they flattered you, CJ, and then at the end they want you to connect. Would you be open to a conversation? And you will be happy to know that that I have caught the interest of Stephen King, J.R. Rowling,
So
Colleen Hoover, John Grisham. I mean, I'm humbled by the notoriety that my books have garnered from all of these famous authors that are suddenly emailing me interested in my books. So
my favorite are the PR ones that tell you all about my own book. Basically they give me the synopsis of my own book and they proceed to tell me how they're going to market my own book better than me. Or the ones that send me a synopsis of this spectacular book that they think is mine and tell me how they're going to market it better. And I'm like, okay, that's great. And there's a few of them that I have written back. I said, that's great. But I have 19 novels, and this is not even one of them. So that tells me that you have not even looked at any of my stuff, and I am all over the internet. So sorry, no dice.
they'll always say they recently came across your work. They'll always use flattery.
Mm-hmm.
They'll always use flattery. Say what a great book, what a great story that you've written. And they'll always at the end either want you to click on a link or are you open to talking or discussing this about your book?
Or download this marketing plan that they have for you.
Right.
Mhm.
And
Or and this is something to also pay attention to. Somebody had written me regarding a interview that they want to do for me, and at the end of it, there is a modest participation fee for guest authors, which supports planning and hosting of our upcoming events. If somebody wants to charge you to interview you, the answer is always no.
No.
And since 2012, since I've been an author for over a long time, you can do the math yourself. It gives me brain pain, but you can do your own math. I have never paid to be interviewed.
No.
Never. Actually, it's usually the other way around. I have never paid to be a speaker. Again, it's the other way around.
And
now I have done them for free, but I have never paid to do so. A modest participation fee? The answer is no.
With AI now, because a lot of these scammers are people from overseas and countries where English isn't the common language. But with AI now, it makes it so much easier to create spam and scam messages. And so many authors, particularly those that are just starting out, can be easily fooled. The rule of thumb is something like this. Okay, the odds of somebody like particularly a production company, a publishing company, a famous author, like I said, J.K. Rowling and Stephen King. Yeah, sure, whatever. Notice in your book, they're slim to none. They're all fishing exhibitions trying to get you, as the example you used, CJ, to spend money to pay for a service. And the odds of there's probably 1 million book titles released a year. The odds of a book title being picked out of that sea of minnows are slim to none. So if it sounds too good to be true, and it probably is 99% of the time. And if you do any kind of advertising, really, if you do any Facebook advertising, if you do ads on Amazon, you are exposing your book to these scammers as well, which is part of just the price you have to pay to do, to publicize your book and to do ads, and you will get a raft of scammers and spammers.
Oh yeah.
Just send them straight to spam purgatory. Just click them on spam. And I've also noticed it really doesn't do any good, particularly with emails, to exile them to your spam folder. They'll still show up in your regular emails, and you just have to routinely delete and put them in your spam folder. It's just, again, the price you pay for being an indie author. And but never pay for anything, like you were saying, CJ. If they're asking for money, it's a scam, it's a spam. And if it sounds too good to be true, it is. It just is.
Now, guaranteed bestseller campaign. Marketing companies promise to send your book to the bestseller list, example, New York Times and Amazon bestseller, and generate massive sales in exchange for upfront costs. That's a scam. Review mills and PR promises. They contact you and promise to boost your visibility or guarantee hundreds of Amazon reviews for a certain price. That's a scam. The answer is you can't do it. How can you protect yourself? As you said, never click on links or download attachments from unsolicited messages or emails. Always check the sender's email addresses and independently verify the claims on official websites. You can do that. It's kind of like when you get an email from your doctor's office that says, hey, you have a bill you have to pay. Sometimes I don't click the link. Sometimes I will literally call my doctor's office and say, hey, do I actually have a bill? Because I thought I paid that. And I actually just did that today. And I actually did the bill, but I paid it on the phone. I didn't click the link. Because sometimes I'm like, did I actually do that or not? So sometimes you go straight to the source. Do your research before hiring a publicist, designer, editor, consultant. If you can consult a community of authors, do so.
Yes.
Author community has a very wide set of resources. Chances are somebody has heard something from somebody before. Um, I had an issue with a YouTube booster. I plastered his name all over LinkedIn. Trust me, somebody has heard something from somebody. They've heard it, they've used them, or they know somebody who has. If you can consult the community, do so. The best form of checking is to check with the group of authors. Many have already ran across them before. Save yourself stress or money. There's some sites regarding publishing sites that are known for scams. Take a look at them, figure out if you want to do business with them. Now, there is one caution to this. I used to own a hybrid publishing company. They put my name on there because we charged money before. Hybrid publishing companies do that. Use caution before nailing a hybrid publishing company. Sometimes what we did is we charged as low as we possibly could. But sometimes people are like, well, because you charge money, you're going on this list for being a bad publisher. Sometimes publishing companies do charge, and it's known as a hybrid publishing company. So check your lists, but also check your sources. Sometimes they get a bad name just for that. We got it as low as we could, but between ISBN numbers, cover art, and stuff like that, we took it as low as we could. We got a bad rep just because we charged money. Literally, it was like $600, I think, is what we charged for a book.
Right.
It's like phenomenally low. But you can ask any of our authors, they didn't want us to not publish. They were all happy. Basically, my statement is, do your homework. Talk to other authors. Talk to other people. Word of mouth helps. That is the best form of advertisement. Talk to authors in doubt. Do not do vanity presses. There are reputable hybrid authors, hybrid publishers out there. You can find them if you don't feel comfortable doing self-publishing and you don't want to do traditional. Again, if someone wants you to pay to be interviewed, to put in their magazine, or to be, just interviewed to do whatever, the answer is absolutely no.
Right.
Again, I've been an author since 2012. I have never been paid. I never paid to be interviewed. I have been paid, and I have been paid to do speaking engagements. I have never paid. Yeah, I can tell you that right now. I have paid to go to Comic-Cons and festivals.
Sure.
That's different. I paid for booths. That is a different setup altogether.
Right.
The other thing I do is I don't pay to have my books reviewed. I do pay to do book tours. Again, that is a completely different entity. So those are two completely different setups. I don't pay for individual book reviews, but I will pay to do a book tour. Two completely different setups. And as you said again, if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is.
And I wanted to add too, if you do ads, like on Facebook, for example, another way that scammers and spammers try to separate you from your money is they will send you these dangerous, threatening emails or alerts or Facebook messages where you have violated company policy. Your book is fixing to be placed on Amazon's no sale list, but they'll use threatening language, and it always comes with, it has to be something that you take care of that right now, this instant, as quickly as possible, which again goes to clicking on a link. And some of these ads, particularly the ones because of Meta on Facebook, they look authentic. They look just like the Facebook. You do Meta, the ads on Facebook, and they'll try to scare you into clicking on a link. And so don't do that. If it's something, if you have a problem with a Facebook ad or something like that, they'll normally email you or message you in the normal fashion, in the normal way. They're not going to send you a threatening message or an email and it's never going to be, this must be taken care of right now, quickly, or your ads will be taken down and your account will be frozen. And so whenever you see those and they appear out of the blue, whether it's an email, whether it's a Facebook message, 99.9% of the time, it's a scammer or spammer that's trying to scare you into clicking on a link or doing something that you wouldn't ordinarily do so they can get a hold of your account information, your personal information, your email address, etc.
Here's another one for you. On Instagram, I had somebody decided they wanted to make me a book banner. And I said, no, thank you, because I do my own stuff. Anybody who knows me knows that I do my own book trailers. I do my own book banners. I do my own ads. I do all the things. People usually see me coming and they cringe because I do all my things. And so they did it and they're like, well, do you like it? And I said, well, it's okay, but I do my own. Thank you. And like, well, it's $400. I said, why would I pay you $400 for something I do by myself? Well, I used it and it cost me that because I had to pay so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. Well, you did that on your own. I didn't ask you to do it. And you got ripped off because you did it on your own. I didn't ask you to do it. And the answer is no. Well, then $300. No. 150.
Do I hear two?
No. The answer is no. I didn't ask you to do any of it. You did it on your own. And I'm not paying you a dime because you did it on your own. I didn't ask you to do any of it, but do you like it? I do my own. You be very careful on how you word this. I do my own advertising and I didn't ask you to do any of it. Now, if you continue to press, I will make sure all of my author friends know about you. Very clearly. And what I do is I screenshot all of that. That way, in case they come back later, I have it. The fact that I told them no, and I didn't ask for any of it, and I make sure to keep it on my phone later. And then I go through and I said, if you continue to press, I will block you and I will report you.
Well, it's, the world we live in now. If you're an indie author and you're involved in writing and publishing books, you will have a legion of scammers and spammers that are trying to separate you from your money. And we've talked about a number of ways on the podcast today, a number of the more obvious scams and spams that unfortunately we've been deluged with. But a simple way, which I often do when I see something that's I'm not quite sure about, AI works both ways. It can be used to fool you. It can also be used as a source of information to get the truth. So, nowadays you can take your phone, you can say, okay, so-and-so, just today I asked about a scam concerning, what was it? An account that I had, and it came back, this is a common scam that had to do with Carnival Cruise Lines. It's you just ask AI, okay, is there a scam going around with Carnival Cruise Lines? Yes, there is, and it gives some detail, and it was almost exactly what I had received as in the form of an email. So it does work. AI can be used for good as well, and you should be made use of that if you're not sure about something. But common sense, don't you think, CJ? I mean, whether it's book, if someone came up and offered to give you $10,000 just off the street, a red flag should go on. Things just don't happen like that.
Something that big, yes, but sometimes they're starting to get smarter and they make them smaller. And that's where experience comes in. So if you have an author who is a mentor, get yourself some mentors, especially the newer authors. Get yourself some mentors and go and talk to them and say, hey, I received this. Does this make sense to you? And ask. It can't hurt to ask.
Right.
And that's the thing, is ask, because we know we've been around the block one too many times. It's not our first rodeo, we'll tell you. And like I said, a lot of times I like playing with them like a cat plays with a mouse, and I'll mess around with them a lot. I do it all the time. But in the meantime, keep yourself safe out there, guys. Next week, we'll have the pros and cons of critiques, not critics, critiques. And so catch yourselves next time, guys. We'll see you out there. Be safe from scams and spams. See you guys next time,
Bye.
guys. Bye.